You're listening to KEMPIRE here on the KEMPIRE Radio Network.
Hey, KEMPIRE community. Welcome back to a special episode with Femtaro. Femtaro has not been on the channel in a long time, and I was so excited to be on her channel on Friday talking about everything from Taylor Swift, Jennifer Lopez, Nicki Minaj, and the incomparable Michael Jackson. But before we get to any of those hot topics and psychic readings, be sure to subscribe to the podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and let me get into some things that I didn't get to on the channel yesterday. I had to talk about Sidora, and this is why it's important to follow me everywhere, because I won't necessarily talk about everything on TikTok or on YouTube, or depending on where it is. If you're following me everywhere, thank you. I understand you can't follow me everywhere sometimes, but shout out to those of you that do, because this is where I'm able to cover everything. All right. So we've been covering and talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta star Sidora and her tumultuous divorce from Ralph Pittman. And the last that we told you was about her getting kicked out of the home. Literally, in the last hour, it was decided that she did not have to move out of the home. She would have to move out by tomorrow. She had asked the judge, no, I can't move out. I would be homeless if you push me out in this timeline. She also lost primary custody of her kids because allegedly she had not been bringing the kids to school on time. Okay. So I'd like to give you a full update. If I had time today, I would do the video for YouTube and TikTok and things like that. But because you're part of the podcast community and you follow me everywhere, you're getting the update. You're in the know. Speaking of in the know, before we get to the story, make sure you join KEMPIRE's Inner Circle mailing list. It's free, but you're getting all kinds of tea. You're getting all kinds of exclusives. My birthday celebration in Mexico City, you were a part of it. I sent out 3 different emails giving you literally details, the fun things that I was doing, some of my most favorite moments. Head on over to thekempire.com/join. Links for that will be available in the description. Let's get to the story about Sidora. I'm actually happy about this because the last thing that you want to do is be separated from your children, because that's the other thing. You might have primary custody, but she would also be set when you're not in the home. Now you're separated from your children for real. So at least, even though she might technically not have primary custody, she'll still be under the same roof with her children. According to TMZ, it looks like Sidora won't be out on the streets after all, thanks to an 11th hour decision from a judge that stops her from being kicked out of her home. According to new legal docs obtained by TMZ, a judge in Georgia changed course Friday and said the Real Housewives of Atlanta star no longer has to leave the Georgia mansion she shares with her estranged husband, Ralph Pittman. Drew was up against a May 31st deadline, but the judge is now saying that they can continue to live at their marital home, at least for now. As TMZ reported, Drew was originally going to be sent packing in a few days as a part of her messy divorce from Ralph, a move that she claims would have left her homeless. While the judge originally showed no sympathy for Drew's predicament, it seems the judge has changed their tune. So that's good news for Drew. And if you saw, we did a video yesterday. I'll actually insert the video into this audio as well. We did recap the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 17 mid-season trailer, which I thought was pretty juicy. But one of the things that I've been critical of Drew is that her messy antics on social media, when she has so much bigger fish to fry when it comes to her kids and this divorce, I still feel that way. However, I'm understanding why she might lean away from not talking about the divorce on the show, because that would open a door for Ralph to be on the show. And this season, I'd much rather Ralph not be on the show. And look, luckily for her, K. Michelle is making Drew her storyline. And if you saw the trailer, then you saw that K. Michelle is still going for Drew. K. Michelle, in a recent interview, also said that Drew was the mastermind, not Portia. I'll insert that audio in this episode as well. This is going to be a nice, long, juicy episode, okay? This will be a nice, long, juicy episode. And if you love our tarot collaborations with Feb Tarot, you could stay tuned for that, because that was a nice, long, juicy episode as well. But yeah, I get why she doesn't want to talk about Ralph, but her real life story, which she could talk about, and look, maybe she will later in the season, but so far we're already halfway through the season, and there really has been no mention of her divorce. There's just been mention of a plot and a scheme that she came up with. I really don't believe it is a plot. And look, I think Drew is many things. I don't think she is as nefarious as Shamia wants to make her out to be, or K. Michelle. if anything, K. Michelle has a history of not telling the truth. So then there's that. But this is good news for Drew. Drew does not have to move out of her marital home, and she could be under the roof with her 3 children all together. We're going to continue to follow this story, but let me remind you of some of the things that happened this week in this new juicy KEMPIRE podcast episode, including some of the stories that we've covered. So let's get into that, and then we'll get into my collaboration with Femtara.
Real Housewives of Atlanta star K. Michelle is not done with talking about the scheme and the plot that was against her and the rumors about her having a smelly you-know-what. Well, now she's saying it wasn't Portia who orchestrated the plot, it was Drew Sidora. Not only that, Nosh, the ex that she claims Portia was dating and didn't tell her about, is now saying that K. Michelle is the Lulu, which reminded me exactly of what Little Kim said about K. Michelle being, well, I'll show you. If you missed it, we did recap Real Housewives of Atlanta earlier this week. It was a 3-hour recap. You can also hear it on the KEMPIRE podcast as well. But we've been talking about this plot and scheme that K. Michelle has been talking about. She talked about it on Watch What Happens Live. We still haven't gotten down to the bottom of it. She says that the person that told her was Jesus. As you know, on the last episode, she also talked about her ex. I also found it interesting that Nosh is basically saying not only is she delusional, but he's also saying it's interesting that she's referring to me as an ex. But Nosh did an interview on a podcast, like a live or something like that. But I told you about Nosh. I told you Nosh from Queen's Court, the energy that he gave on that show, which she didn't choose him at the end, but apparently dated him afterwards. He was already giving thirsty on that show and problematic. So I'm not surprised that at the first calling of his name, he's now doing interviews. But we can appreciate it. I'll get to the Nosh of it all in a second. K. Michelle was on virtual reality Page Six's podcast and had more to say about the plot and scheme. And now she's saying Portia wasn't the mastermind. Drew was the mastermind. Take a look at what she had to say.
Straight up, like, girl, I have your number. I know what's going on.
I feel like you guys should watch that.
Okay.
I feel like it's a great season, and I feel like you get to see a lot of different points of views when it comes to this.
Right.
But I am almost happy that situation took place because, there's a lot of things you can shade me about. My life is not perfect, but the one main person, and it was not Portia, when it was the main person, that wasn't even her fight. She was a part of it and knew it was someone else's fight. And you unforgettable when you get kicked out your own fight. How you get kicked out your?
I'm not going to even hold you. That was pretty funny. If I believe K. Michelle, I think that was pretty funny. But the fact that she's now turned from Portia to Drew, I think you're aiming for Drew because you don't feel like Drew has a big fan base like Portia does. I believe that's why she's now shifting from Portia, because she's now realizing, oh no, people really love Portia in the Bravo universe, including the network. And you're going towards Drew because you feel like Drew doesn't have the same level of support. You might be surprised.
Fight.
Oh my God.
He was kicked out of the fight.
It's becoming about me and Portia when, you knew about it. Yeah, you was part, but who started it? Who put it together?
Drew?
Who put it together?
Wait, who is it?
You will see.
Oh my God.
Who put it
Oh God,
together?
Phaedra or Drew?
Phaedra, Drew? Oh my God. Who?
Because I know you have been. I knew that you and Drew have not been seeing eye to eye at all, and especially in interviews and everything like that. Does not.
Because she already had it out for me. She already knew her plan for her storyline and what she was going to say and do when it came to me. And that's why I kept saying it's not about music. This is not about no music at all.
Yeah, because her shading your music career was actually crazy.
It's fine.
That's one thing I would have to agree. And we talked about this at the top of the season when Drew made that snarky remark about K. Michelle's music career. It's like, oh, does she still do music? I felt like that was uncalled for. And we went in on Drew that week. But it's quickly taken a turn since.
So it's like, I mean, I really don't lose any sleep. I've never heard of a Drew Sidora or thought anything of talent. That's not what I'm thinking. Like when I see that, like I'm in this place. I wouldn't know you if I wasn't put in this place. So it's not that. It's just that every attempt at me to connect yourself in something, because, you know, you've glided through for some years, you know, with really no moments to be gliding through like that.
If I was Drew, though, I wouldn't want to be fighting with the girl who's friends with Beyonce.
Okay. K. Michelle's not friends with Beyonce. Beyonce sent her some flowers because K. Michelle has been a black artist, been doing country music for a very long time. So she was throwing love and support in that direction. I wouldn't say that they're friends. Okay, they have never even met. Just saying. Anyway, Beyonce did say that she can't wait to meet her, though, but that hasn't happened. But anyway, we're not going to compare the resumes because we've defended K. Michelle even before the show even started. However, we got to stop downplaying Drew Sidora and her resume, because no matter whose resume is longer or better or more established, you both are on the same show, and you begged and pleaded for Andy to put you on as a housewife. You begged and pleaded. And based on all the things that you know about the cast and you've been talking about, you knew who Drew Sidora was because she's been on this show for how many seasons now? You've been watching. Okay? You've definitely been watching. Don't get me defending Drew, but this is y'all fault. The same way y'all came for Drew last season, we had to defend Drew then because it was uncalled for. So now, Portia's not the one behind the scheme, y'all. It's now Drew. Drew is the mastermind. No. Really? Here's the thing. We know housewives do stuff like that, but I just don't know if I believe it anymore when it comes to K. Michelle. Because K. Michelle, and now that we're going back in history, we're seeing that she has a very interesting relationship with the truth, including the time that she said that Lil' Kim wanted her to be the godmother of her daughter. Let's do a little flashback.
What's the situation with you and K. Michelle? K. Michelle was up here and she said she was almost the baby's godmama. Yeah, she was almost your child's godmom.
I didn't even know y'all was that tight.
She said she was almost the baby's godmom. You done asked her, and then
he said, "Tell the truth."
That chick is a bag of pecans. You know, like
Basically, she wants to say she's nuts. Just for those that can't read between the lines of what Lil' Kim is trying to say here.
a trail mix. You know what when you're eating a trail mix and you like all of the nuts that you like, you eat, and the nuts that you can't stand, that's just back in the. She's the bag of nuts that you put back in the.
Like a black jelly bean?
Yeah, like a black jelly bean.
Oh.
She is nuts. Yo, my son, yo, she is so nuts. You are liable to see her skipping. Who skips? Who skips? No.
I'm sorry. Every time I watched this video recently, when she said you're probably liable to see her skipping, meaning like randomly, this grown adult is just skipping through it. Not just when you're in a good mood, just skipping. Read between the lines. It's so interesting how Lil' Kim, a lot of people downplayed Lil' Kim and things that Lil' Kim said about people that have come against her, including like a Nicki Minaj. It's so interesting in 2026 where Lil' Kim is getting her just due.
Chick is nuts, yo. I mean, first of all, why would I ever make her my child's godmother? I've only met this woman one time.
No. Come on.
One time in person.
No.
We talk on the phone, you know, after that because she was a fan of mine. You know, I appreciate that. Anybody who shows me love, I'm going to show major love back. And so we never had, first of all, let's clear this up. Let's get this straight right now. We never had a conversation about her being my child's godmom. Wow. I don't.
This just goes back to what I said during our recap. I feel like, especially if you pay attention to K. Michelle's interviews, I feel like she starts a story. She's a storyteller, and she just keeps running with it, and she adds on to it. She adds sauce to it. This has been a pattern over the years. I think the fact that she's decided to come back to reality television, she's now being called out on it.
don't know you. I don't know you. Like, I don't know you. Why would I do that? And then she said she called me. Let's just clear this up, too. If she had called me, we would have never been in that predicament. If she had called me and said, yo, Kim, I was on Twitter and I said some things and your fans is coming at me sideways. Yo, can you check them? Out of respect for our relationship, because I don't know her that well, but you know what I mean? We were trying to develop something. Out of respect for that, I would have said something to my fans if she had called me, texted me. When I watched what she was saying, I said, this chick is having a conversation with herself.
Not she's having a conversation with herself. It's so interesting, especially when you know who some of Lil' Kim's like closest, dearest friends. Why would she ask K. Michelle, of all people, to be the godmother? So I see that as going viral. There's so many moments. K. Michelle's been popular for a long time and on reality television for a long time. So Nosh is now speaking out. So shout out to Millie Chun, because you know what we do here. We cite our sources. Millie Chun had a DM exchange with Nosh because you know he's thirsty. And Millie was reaching out to possibly do an interview with him because now he's a hot topic. He was brought up on Real Housewives of Atlanta this week. So Millie DMs him and says, hey, Nosh, it's Millie Chun. Do you have a moment to come on my channel and have a conversation with me? You are a hot topic, sir. So he puts a laughing emojis. Then she says, is your interview posting tonight? I guess, he did an interview because I told you he's thirsty. So he says, Millie Chun, yes, it's been posted. Postponed, I guess he meant to say. I don't know what he meant. It could be posted or postponed. I don't know. But I guess postponed, because he says, but still coming though. She then says, would you come on my channel? Then he says, super shocked to be referred to as an ex, laughing out loud. Because remember, that is what K. Michelle kept referring to him as. Because remember, when we saw him on Queen's Court, she decided to choose herself and not date him. But then when I Googled it, Google was telling me she didn't choose him. However, they ended up dating afterwards. I don't know if any of that is true, but the fact that he's saying super shocked to be referred to as an ex, laughing out loud. So I don't know if it means they never dated, or I don't know if it means they're currently dating, even though she's married. But I already told you the marriage is a little suspect too, and the timing of that relationship. So Millie responds and says, I'm shocked. Then Millie says to him, I feel like because she's new to the show. Portia had been on the show. That's why she keeps saying it now on her show. Now that's why she keeps saying it's not her show. He replies, yep, she's trying to mind her. Millie has her logo over the thing, so I can't read the entire message. She's trying to her buzz or something like that. I don't know. This is what he said. She's trying to something her buzz. I don't know what he said. Millie then says, did you tell Kay that Portia wanted to go public? And Portia said, why do I always end up talking to somebody? Says, I love how Millie's getting the interview without actually getting the interview. Because that's what she said. She told you. Nosh responds and says, again, Delulu. That's not how that went. He then says she ran with the story in her head. Oh, here they go. They keep saying it's the voices in her head. Millie then says, I said she's creating stories as she goes. And that's what we've noticed with K. Michelle. She did it a lot during the Jason Lee interview that she did recently. I was like, it looks like she's just creating as she goes this story. So Nosh is calling K. Michelle delusional. He's denying that Portia ever said that, why do I always end up with other people's men? So did she just lie about this? Are we going to see Nosh later on this season that we don't know about? Oh, no. My thing is, too, why would K. Michelle say these things so publicly and not realize some of the men that you're dealing with are more than willing to be messy and be like, no, that never happened? The only messy man that's not going to do that and play along with your game is Dr. Caston. He's like, all right, I'm just happy to be here. All right. So that's the update. K. Michelle's delusional. Lil' Kim called it a long time ago, and now we're all catching up. Not really. I think we kind of knew that, but sometimes it's the lesser of two evils. Just saying. Today's live is sponsored by RHOA. I have been loving hearing all of your stories about those of you that have taken advantage already of RHOA being a sponsor here on the channel. You've talked about how it's changed your life, how you've lost weight that you've been trying to lose for a very long time. I'm loving hearing your stories. And a lot of you have also shared how this has allowed you to take advantage of GLP-1s that are actually affordable. A lot of people think that GLP-1s are expensive. However, it doesn't have to be. And our friends over at RHOA allow you a variety of different options on how you can take advantage as well. RHOA has helped a lot of people lose weight. That's why they have the lowest cost options out there, whether you're paying with insurance or cash. RHOA's free insurance checker makes it easy to see if you're covered. Just submit your insurance card and RHOA handles the rest. There's no paperwork, no waiting on hold, and no confusing phone calls. RHOA's free insurance checker will send you a comprehensive report of your coverage details so that you can make a decision that's right for your goals. And most importantly, if insurance doesn't cover your treatment, there are still options. RHOA offers low-cost, cash-pay, FDA-approved GLP-1s, including newer dosage forms like daily pills and multi-dose pens. RHOA offers a multi-month membership option in addition to multi-month medications that help members prepay and save on their GLP-1 medications. Just another way RHOA is working to increase access to life-changing medication. Some other important details when you work with RHOA: their cash pay options ship right to your door. No pharmacy visits required. If you decide to move forward, RHOA can help you understand if GLP-1s are right for you and your goals, but that's just the beginning. That's the difference with RHOA. They're giving you the education that you fully understand what you're taking. When you become a RHOA member, you'll have support throughout the process. You'll have access to your provider on demand for any questions. Join over the 1,500,000 people who've trusted RHOA on their weight loss journey. If this was an option that I needed, I would have used RHOA. But what I've been loving is hearing all of you that have been using RHOA, even some personal friends that have been using RHOA off of our discount. If you would like to take advantage, here's your opportunity. Go to RHOA.co/Kempire to see if you qualify. That's RHOA.co/Kempire to get started on RHOA. Go to RHOA.co/safety for box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medications. All information will be available in the description. Thanks, RHOA. K. Michelle's ex from Queen's Court, Nosh, is speaking out in a new interview, explaining whether or not they actually were exes and what was actually discussed. Did he vindicate Portia Williams? Not only that, according to K. Michelle, she recorded a 26-minute conversation between her and her ex. Yes, a married woman recorded a recent conversation between her and an ex. So yesterday we did a video talking about this big situation between K. Michelle now saying that Drew Sidora was the mastermind behind some sort of plot to come against her during the season. Originally, she was saying that Portia was involved, but she was not the mastermind. In this recent interview with Page Six, she says that Drew was behind it all. Then, content creator Millie Chun did a video talking about a DM exchange that she had with K. Michelle's ex, where he basically said he finds it interesting that she's referring to him as an ex. And I said, why is that? Are they currently dating? Or is it the fact that they never dated? He explains more about that in a recent interview. K. Michelle has since responded to said interview. We will get to that in just a second. I want to play for you some of the audio from, because we can't play copyright and things like that. I'm going to play for you some of the audio from Nosh's recent interview. And here's the thing. I'm going to say this first before we even get into it. I'm not surprised that Nosh is doing interviews or in the DMs with bloggers and things like that. He gave Clout Chaser during Queen's Court. I didn't love him for K. Michelle, but I also realized that K. Michelle really wasn't looking for love on the show. I think she was looking for an opportunity to be seen. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing with Real Housewives of Atlanta. Reminder, at the end of Queen's Court, she decided to choose herself, but apparently they were dating after the show. And I know what you're probably thinking, but I thought she was dating Dr. Caston since high school, on and off for years. Okay, they even did marriage boot camp together, her and Dr. Caston. On and off for years. But I already told you, I don't 100% believe that K. Michelle and Dr. Caston are deeply in love and that they marry each other finally after all these years. I believe now, based on what K. Michelle has said about herself, she keeps telling on herself. Her, in the Jason Lee interview, basically told on herself. She brought a completely different man to production right before and got married a couple of weeks before filming for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Based on everything that she's been saying and exposing about herself, it's giving you only married this man so that you could be a married woman on this show, especially the amount of time she keeps saying, I'm a married woman. You're also a married woman talking to your ex and using that information on the show. And now you're trying to destroy the credibility of the ex that you were using as a credible source for the information you brought on last week's episode. Please make it make sense. You can't. You can't. So let me just play for you some of the clips from this interview. And let me just tell you where the interview is actually from before I play the clips, because you know what we do over here. We cite our sources, okay? So shout out to our friends over at the Bravo Shade Room, and shout out to our friends over at No Chaser TV. That's where I'm getting these clips from. But the Bravo Shade Room also citing where this interview happened between Nosh and blogger Cocktails with Carly on YouTube. So if you want to see the full interview, you can watch it there. I'm just going to be playing a couple of clips. So I want to address one of the DMs that Millie Chun got from Nosh, where Nosh basically says that he's surprised that she's referring to him as an ex. So this is what he says in this new interview.
To me, is someone or an individual who was once significant in your life. You see what I'm saying? An ex is someone you can say that, oh, this was my person at the time that knew me. I don't think K. Michelle even knows me inside out like that.
Right.
You know, everything was just on the surface, right?
Right.
Because we didn't really make it to the point where we like, okay, are we going to be together?
Right.
What we're doing.
So you got, go ahead.
I don't even think any of my close friends ever saw her with me.
Okay.
So for me, if we...
I mean, that's pretty significant. And look, everyone's going to have a different definition of what dating looks like, boyfriend, girlfriend. But if you haven't met some of his closest friends, I don't know how serious I would have considered you. I wouldn't be referring to you as an ex. But some people that I probably casually dated probably refers to me as an ex. I've had that happen before. And I was like, ex? There's only on one hand I can count when it comes to exes, like someone I would consider an ex.
We didn't make it that far to a point where we're exclusively involved.
So you guys were not committed?
Yes.
Yes, you guys were not committed.
We were not committed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can put that to rest. I know that they're speaking about it in the comments. And, you know, so yes, they were dating. They were having a good time. It was a spinoff from they were dating. They were having a good time. It was a spinoff from the show, right? It continued after the show, I should say. Right. And, you know, so obviously dating, there was intimacy.
Yes.
Okay.
So we were dating on the show.
But you were not in a
There were intimacy? Oh.
relationship with her?
No, I'm not on the TV.
No.
Yeah.
Or personally?
Or personally.
Okay, so it was just dating on the show.
We were dating.
And then you guys probably had like what, a friendship thereafter?
Well, we dated outside the show.
Okay.
Not.
So he's confirming after the show when she did not pick him on Queen's Court. For those that don't know the connection here, Nosh dated K. Michelle on Queen's Court, that season of Queen's Court. However, she decided not to go with any of the candidates.
How am I going to put this? You know, we dated here and there, quite inconsistent, but we kind of, you know, dated. Hey, what you doing in town? Whatever, you know.
Or not.
Okay, so that was one of the clips. Shout out to No Chaser TV. We have a couple of more clips from this interview Nosh did on Cocktails with Carly YouTube channel. All right, so I'm going to play a couple more clips from this interview. Nosh confirms in this next clip that he did say out of respect to Simon that he didn't want to be seen with Portia. Because remember, during this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, K. Michelle says that Portia wanted to go public with him. This is what he's saying.
Hey, Michelle and Portia at the same time.
No.
Okay. So it's clear that
So he's confirming they did not date. He did not date Portia and K. Michelle at the same time.
K. Michelle was first because you were on the show.
Right.
And then you met Portia thereafter.
After.
Why didn't he want to be seen with Portia?
Damn, people they just want to reach and reach her.
They want to dig to the depths of the soul of hell.
My thing is, his response to that question, it's not anyone digging. This is what K. Michelle said on the show. She claims that you said that you did not want to, that Portia wanted to go public with you and you denied her. So that's not anyone reaching. That's not us creating, unless you're talking about K. Michelle. But he's making it seem like we are all reaching. Sir, you are sitting on a podcast or a YouTube channel, a blogger's channel, and doing an interview where you were mentioned briefly.
Okay, so we all know that Portia just went through a messy divorce, and the ex-husband is Nigerian, and I'm Nigerian.
But
and like I said, it's a very
But do you guys know each other?
small community in Atlanta. So add up the rest of the story.
So out of respect.
Out of respect,
I
you
know
what
that
I'm
we-
saying? Like,
yeah.
like I'm, you know, like
So out of respect, you're willing to do all the things behind the scenes, but you don't want to go public? Make it make sense. You're willing to date her behind the scenes, but not publicly because of out of respect. It seems like there is no respect if you're still dating her.
Someone says, can he confirm if either women directly requested he come on the show as a love interest? His answer was unclear.
no love interest. Portia said to come because somebody's making her look like a hoe, like she's snatching somebody else's man or whatever. And I'm like,
So Portia did reach out during filming, it seems, because this was brought up during filming. So I'm guessing Portia reached out to him to clear things up.
So wait, Portia asked you to come on the show because
no, she asked if would you even do that if you're asked to, and I declined.
Oh, she gave you like a rhetorical.
Yes, like would you even want to?
Like Nash, would you ever want to give me $1 million if you want to? Kind of.
I wonder if that's how she introduced it to Mike and Sway. Would you guys even want to come on the show? Like Portia doing casting.
I talked about it, back and forth, and the whole 9 yards, and I shut it down. Like, no, I'm not coming on Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Okay.
That's ladies.
Yes.
I don't want to be part
And
of
so
That's ladies, but here he is on a podcast, a YouTube channel, doing an interview for being mentioned briefly. And look, some might say, Kempire, he has every right to clear his name. His name really wasn't defiled in this situation. Maybe a little bit. But all he had to do, honestly, was put out a statement. He did not need to sit down for a YouTube interview. But, shout out to Carly. So you got that, girl.
So did K. Michelle ask you to be on the show?
Why the hesitation?
I declined.
Okay.
Well, the first.
So wait, she asked you to be on the show?
Okay, so the night we talked for like I said, we spoke for over 2 hours. That night, something like that came up.
Okay.
As my friend or whatever. But I'm like,
As her friend? First of all, K. Michelle claims that she does not want to be associated with Black, even though they had a friendly exchange on social media. But you're okay with your ex coming on this reality show when you're a married woman? It's not making sense, but okay.
You married. Why am I coming on the show?
Right.
As what, though? So I didn't make no sense out of it. And I just kind of nah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There was another clip that I wanted to play for you guys.
That did not.
Nash shares that K. Michelle told him that she thinks that she was being plotted against.
Tell K. Michelle anything about, or tell Portia or K. Michelle anything about the
like
plotting?
I'm pillow talking about,
Were you pillow talking with either one of them?
That was not what happened. So she reached out to me and said, hey, I think they plotted. I was like, what? Plotting? Who's plotting? Like, plotting what? This was last year.
Again, we still do not know who told this information to K. Michelle that someone might be plotting against her. Again, I'm starting to think that K. Michelle just might be paranoid.
While they were doing it. I'm like, no, nobody's plotting nothing. What are you talking about? And then she said that just don't give them nothing to have over me. I'm like, kid, I don't have nothing to give.
So she was calling all her exes? Is that what was happening? Was she calling all her exes to give them a heads up? Do not give them any information about me.
Anybody.
And who would you give it to? Portia?
Exactly. I don't know. Listen, I was not part of it. I didn't know nothing about it. But that was just her. Like, hey, don't. I'm like, I'm not. That's not my.
So I wonder if the episode that we saw last week, and you guys help me in the comments, but I wonder the episode that we saw last week, was that someone called her or had a conversation with her? Was that you having a conversation with her? Was that somebody else?
No, I don't think we had a conversation while the camera was rolling.
Okay.
This was her, because I remember she had mentioned that, and I was like, no, I ain't got nothing to give nobody. But listen, since you say somebody's plotting on you, I think I'll let you know, since you guys are friends now,
right?
That, listen, Portia is my friend. And that was it.
Okay.
Right? And then she went ahead and asked all the questions, like, like friends will talk. Like,
well, like what kind of questions?
I decline.
One question.
I decline.
One question.
I decline. Don't worry about it.
Fine.
Why are we declining answering that question? If they were, I mean, you don't have to get into the nitty gritty of what was asked, but it sounds like, here's the thing. K. Michelle sounds like she's paranoid, but it also sounds like K. Michelle is the one that's plotting against these women.
I mean, I'm only asking, and I'll tell you why, and I'll let you finish. You don't have to answer, but I'll tell you why. Because she's asking you for telling you someone's plotting against her. Meanwhile, it seems like maybe she was extracting information to possibly plot on someone else, potentially and allegedly. I don't know either, but we're all putting this stuff together.
Yes.
Right. I don't know nothing about that, but all I knew was she had said that, and that was when I told her that, hey, I'm Portia's friend, because she's your friend now, and I just left it at that.
Okay.
And I said, please, I do not want this to go on the show.
Okay.
I don't say, and she gave me her word, like, okay, don't worry, I'm not doing that. I'm not, I'm not going to say nothing. I said, I just want you.
I would never trust K. Michelle. I'm going to be honest with you.
You to know as my friend. I'm telling you, so you're not completely in the dark. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's not as if I'm not telling pillow talking or talking about anybody.
Right.
I just want you to stay in the know, since you are already friends now.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And then after a while, she called me again. She said, oh, no, she's going to kill me. I'm like, what happened, Kay? And she said, oh, I said something. But I didn't see the show, so I didn't know what was said.
Well, you didn't know at that time either.
But she said she didn't mention my name.
Was this recently?
No. While they were...
And she didn't mention his name. The person that mentioned his name on the show was Portia.
While they were filming.
I already knew all this was coming out.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I already knew, because by the time the show airs and all of that, then I was like, okay, well, what did you say? Why would you do that?
Right.
And I was so infuriated. And that was the last time I talked to her.
Okay.
That was the last time that he spoke to her. All right. So K. Michelle, after this interview and everyone started reacting to what he had said in the DMs, she then went to social media and she had a few tweets that she wanted to share, including this 11-second audio. And I'm going to play this for you guys as well, because if I'm going to be honest with you, I felt like it didn't say much of anything. I had to put it out to you guys. I'm like, am I missing something here from this 11-second audio that she claims is a 26-minute recording that she has? So she was randomly recording someone that she's friendly with, an ex, and she's a whole married woman. It doesn't make sense. Why would you be recording someone, first of all, that you're friendly with? I don't get it. I don't get why you would record anyone. It's giving you are plotting and planning your own whatever storyline.
5 years.
You're going to be mad at me for 5 years. And I didn't even tell everything. I didn't even do that.
Okay, so that's what the conversation was. That's all she posted. And she says, don't be mad. I haven't even started to tell. What? It's not making sense. Another clip she put out. Let me play this for you. Hold on.
Something. I said, well, Kate, there's something I need you to know. Portia is my friend. This is what it is. I just want to keep you in the know. I was actually looking out for you. I was actually, so you don't just go out there looking blind like you don't know what's going on. That was
Mind you, the recordings that we're hearing now that she's posting actually confirms what he said in this interview, that he was telling her about his connection to Portia. It's not confirming anything that K. Michelle has accused Portia of on this show. Okay. So another person on X says this. He says, keep them coming, baby. I see how they trying to act like, why is she even talking to him if she got a husband? And that just goes to show you they'll always choose to move the goalposts when it comes to their faves. Oh, well. First of all, you already know Portia is not a fave. I am blocked twice by Portia. She is not a fave. So I am looking at this from an eye that is like, okay, I'm willing to believe Portia may have lied because Portia has lied before, but it's not landing this time. So she retweets this person because, everybody got fans that will be as delusional as the person that they're fans of. She reposts and says in all caps, my husband is with all the smoke. He witnessed all of it. Every moment. We be over here laughing. Do y'all believe that? I don't believe that. What I've seen a lot of people say, there are some people that were saying, look, she's caused people to have conversations about the show, but not in a good way. This is not entertaining. This is actually annoying. Yup. People want to laugh. They want that type of entertainment. This is not landing. If anything, people are more annoyed, and that's what they're reacting to. So she then says, good night, I have to get my beauty rest. This little tussle had made me want to retire with a cold glass of moonshine for a night. My job here is done for now. Maybe tomorrow I'll, heart emoji. No. Someone says to her, some people don't need platforms. And then K Michelle retweets, she said, you're right. If you're rethinking being on here, you should. You only 200 followers. You're closer to out than in anyway. K Michelle, you're looking so pitiful and sad. And I did not expect this. I was one of the few people that had high hopes for K Michelle to be on this show. And now those hopes are dashed. This is the one time I could say, y'all, I might have been wrong. I might have been wrong. But look, here we are. Okay, I get it. It's not a new year, but it can still be a new you. As you know, we've partnered with Factor many, many times, and this is no different. But let me paint a picture for you. Hunger strikes, and you're exhausted. I know it, especially on a busy day. There's something healthy in your fridge or pantry that you should be making, but you don't have it in you. Relatable, right? For me, eating healthy isn't a willpower problem. It's a setup problem until I found Factor. As you know, I have a busy schedule. Sometimes there's breaking news and I do not have the time in me to cook that meal or prepare for that meal. With Factor, I'm hitting my nutrition goals this season without the planning, grocery shopping, or cooking. What I also love about Factor is that you're getting great quality meals, dietitian approved meals. Factor has meals built around your goals, whether that's weight loss, overall nutrition, more protein, or GLP-1 support. For strength and workout recovery, check out Factor's Muscle Pro collection. As I've mentioned many times before, Factor meals are crafted with functional ingredients from lean proteins, colorful veggie, whole foods, and healthy fats. Factor bans 175 plus ingredients, no artificial colors, no sweeteners, no high fructose corn syrup, and no refined seed oils. And most importantly, convenience. Ready in 2 minutes, Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers straight to your door so you have more time for everything you love this spring. Head to factormeals.com/Kempire50off and use code Kempire50off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See website for more details. More details on Factor and your discounts will be available in the description. Thanks, Factor. Portia Williams and Shamia Morton are going at it in the newly released Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 17 mid-season trailer. Not only that, Shamea and Angela Oakley are going at it online after Shamea said in a recent interview that Angela is big and burly. So it's all about Real Housewives of Atlanta right now. I feel like everyone is constantly talking about the show. However, the ratings aren't necessarily reflecting it. They had their lowest ratings of the season this past week's episode. Not sure, but a lot of people are saying that they're watching it on Peacock. But we're definitely watching and talking about it here on the channel. So let's get into first what Shamea said in a recent Shade Room interview. So Shamea was asked some questions about her castmates, and she was supposed to give like some very quick responses. And I'm going to play it for you, and then I'm going to let you know my thoughts, because I had a lot of thoughts when I watched it, and I was like, look, let me play it for you really quickly. And this is from our friends over at No Chaser TV on Instagram.
And then you just tell me the first thing that comes to mind when I say the name, okay?
Oh, Lord. Okay.
The first name, K. Michelle.
Puddin', country superstar. Absolutely.
Okay. How about Kelly?
Kelly, chicken and waffles queen, bestie, fun.
All right, Angela Oakley.
Big and burly.
Big.
I feel like everyone this season is having comments about Angela being, her size or anything like that. And look, that's not uncommon on Real Housewives. I always get uncomfortable, though, when people do that. Because I'm just like, you have nothing else? That's all you can with Angela because Angela keep getting y'all together? But okay.
Burly? Did you call
and
her
bothered? Big, burly, and bothered.
Okay. Okay.
This might be a little bit of projection, that bothered part. Just saying.
Interesting. Okay. Pinky Cole.
A walking TED Talk.
Uh-oh. Did she fall out with Pinky this season, too?
She got something to say, and I got an idea about everything.
All right. Portia,
Happy Pride.
And after you see the mid-season trailer, you might feel differently about this Happy Pride. I don't think it was a genuine one.
Okay.
Me, yeah. Oh, Lord.
Drew Sidora.
Whew, a liar that's up in black smoke.
No.
Did I lie?
Sidebar, did you guys see that Black, the one that's been featured on the show, dating Drew? I'm not sure if that's real or not. Connected to K. Michelle, but she doesn't want to be connected to it because she's a married woman. But she'll be connected to Nash. Fine. Did y'all see that Black is being accused and sued by like Lala Milan is suing him, and a bunch of other women are suing him in regards to bad business? Okay.
Oh.
Junocchio.
Oh. Junocchio is crazy.
Wow. Okay. What about Phaedra?
Phaedra, funerals and courtrooms.
Okay. Cynthia Bailey.
A dirty room.
Lord,
she's going to drag that out to the reunion? Okay, girl. This is not going to end well for Shamea, y'all. I'm going to keep playing it, but this is not going to end well for Shamea.
Mercy. All right. Do you feel like you will ever be able to take a step in the direction of healing things with Angela and Drew?
Well, first you got to know what you're healing. Because as of right now, all I see is them just being up somebody else's ass. I don't understand what the drama is between me and these ladies. Why they really mad? Can we figure that out first? Once we can figure out why they're really mad, then maybe we can get to some healing. And I mean, aside from that, I'm cool. I don't have no smoke with them. I mean, no black smoke that is. I mean, shit. I don't have no problems with neither one of them, Big Ange or Junocchio.
Oh, Lord. How you call it the Big Ange is crazy.
Did I lie?
You did not lie.
What do you mean you did not lie? Here's the thing. This is what happens in the Housewives world. People are doing interviews. They make shady remarks. I'm going to leave the Angela and the Drew of it all when it comes to Shamea. I'm going to leave that alone. Let's put that to the side. My issue here is that it's not even clever. We come from an age when Nene, Kenya, Phaedra, they would go on these interviews. They'd be on Wendy Williams, and they would make these shady remarks, but they were clever. They were funny. Even if they were making fun of your fave, you'd be like, oh my God, that was hilarious. That was funny. Shamea is such a terrible housewife. On paper, she should be fantastic. She's beautiful. She's married. She has children. She's got the luxury. On paper, she should be fantastic. But in real life, she is terrible. Putting aside anything that we've seen from her before, just this example alone is a perfect example of why she's terrible. She's a terrible interview. She's not funny. She's not witty. And it should be so easy when it comes to, okay, I'm going to give her the big and burly. But I already told you, I get uncomfortable when you start talking about a woman's size and things like that, but whatever. Drew Nokio, okay, I could kiki and laugh at that a little bit. But for the most part, all of it was just corny, cringy. That is who she is. And I already know this reunion is going to be just as bad as the last reunion for Shamea. I already feel it. OMG. Well, of course, big and burly, sorry. Come on. Because you know how I feel about Angela. I like Angela. Angela is responding on social media. Angela Oakley says this. Tell them why you really mad, huh? Our issues were never about Portia. I exposed the person behind the mask. Okay, quick to smile in faces and stab in the back. I introduced the world to the real you. Fake, mean, hashtag Shamina. I'm sorry. My thing is I want to hear her say this because I'm sure it's even funnier hearing her delivery of this. She says, keep the same energy, love. And she puts the fingers crossed. And I think she means keep the same energy at the reunion. Damn, Angela, even in a tweet, it was witty and funny. Damn, she says, tell them why you really mad, huh? Our issues were never about Portia. I exposed the person behind the mask. Quick to smile in faces and stab them in the back. I introduced the world to the real you. Fake, mean, hashtag Shamina. Keep the same energy. Cleared. And I know some of you will be in the chat. I love Shamea. You can love who you love. That's fine. And there will be some of you like, I don't understand the Shamea hate. Please understand, there is no hate. I don't know Shamea. This is just me reacting to what Shamina has given us on this show. It's another season. We all can't be wrong. Look, we all can't be wrong. But anyway, you're entitled to your opinion. Did y'all see the Real Housewives of Atlanta mid-season trailer? I almost forgot that it was coming out today. So shout out to OMFG Reality TV. If you missed it, you can watch it there, but you can also watch it on Bravo's YouTube channel. I'm going to stop and go. I can't play it actually for you or straight through because Bravo will get us and then, it'll be a problem. So I'm going to stop and go and react to this mid-season trailer. And you'll let me know how you would rate it. Do you feel like it delivered? All right, let's start. So, of course, it seems as if Phaedra is going to be hosting the Scotland trip again, because remember, Phaedra was on The Traitors in Scotland. And there was going to be the Traitors theme throughout this. I'm here for it because I love Traitors. I'm in the middle of watching The Traitors Canada. Good so far. Stay tuned.
I'm Alanisha Kane. Yeah. Tonight we will see who are the faithful. Let's get to Shamea. Where are y'all?
Oh, so Giselle's going to make an appearance this season. And I'm okay with it, this crossover, because, first of all, Giselle actually looks good here. You got to give credit when credit is due, because it's not often we can give credit to Giselle. Giselle looks good here. But Giselle and Portia are actually friends in real life, and they're on Ultimate Girls Trip together this season.
She is absolutely devastating.
Let me go back. What did Giselle say here?
Faithful. Let's get to Shamea.
Not let's get to Shamea.
Today.
She is absolutely
Shamea. Where are y'all today?
Where are y'all today? I find it interesting that Giselle's asking about this. I wouldn't be surprised that this was a setup. I don't know when exactly we're going to get this particular conversation, if it's before or after the Scotland trip. But I wouldn't be shocked that this was a setup by production or even a setup by Portia in order to start the conversation about Shamia. Because here's the thing, it's not fair to the audience because there's a big elephant in the room about their friendship and them interacting but not really interacting. They're not really interacting at all if you really pay attention. So in this moment, when Giselle asks Portia what's going on between her and Shamia, she just makes a face and then she kind of looks down.
Absolutely devastated by this friendship.
And who are betrayed.
So K. Michelle says she's absolutely devastated by this friendship, and then they flash to Shamina. That's what I'm going to call her for now. Shamina in the car, I'm guessing when they were in Scotland, because you will see later on in the preview where she's crying about this because there is something that goes down during this trip.
Say that to my face, ho.
Who is Angela talking to? I'm assuming Shamia. Just say that ish to my face, ho. Damn.
Young and the restless. Peekaboo, I see you.
Oh, wait, maybe it was Kelly? Because Kelly opens the door and then closes the door.
Still to come on this season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
You all notice how they're utilizing Cynthia a lot? Cynthia's the voiceover. Remember, Cynthia's the one that opened up the new season. Right here, they're showing a photo shoot with Cynthia, Portia, and Drew for Go Naked Hair. They're on their business this year.
Now, what else is
So they're flashing to different moments that we should expect throughout the season in regards to these probably group events and parties and whatnot.
I love you.
Hold on.
Now, what else is going on?
Y'all see, again, them utilizing a classic moment from Cynthia. What else is going on? Is this going to be a new song? How come they put it over a little trap beat? What's going on?
Now, what else is going on?
I love your spark. You be getting me. I'm be
Who's this man Faye just hugged up on?
Mouths on my vagina.
Are you moist?
You are the trauma, not the drama.
Here we go. Portia producing her own storyline. She's arguing with Dennis. Why are we still arguing? And every time that they argue, it's never about PJ and what's going on with PJ. It's always about him being involved in her personal life. I don't care about this at all.
Trauma. I ain't signed up.
Are the trauma, not the drama. The trauma.
I ain't signed up for no damn anxiety.
Okay, that was Sway saying I didn't sign up for no damn anxiety. What's Portia crying about?
But I'm not lying. No one's gonna hold her.
Oh, wait, why? I guess K. Michelle has some sort of event and she looked like she about to get crunk. I thought she didn't want to be loving hip-hop on this show.
But I'm not lying. No one's gonna hold her accountable to her lies. We on
Okay, Drew says no one's going to hold K. Michelle account. I'm assuming it's K. Michelle because they go from K. Michelle to Drew saying that.
Island, I'm gonna survive, and you're going to jail.
I went ahead and filed clarifying.
So we see Kelly sitting down with Phaedra because we found out during the season that Phaedra was going to represent her in this custody battle that she's having with her ex. Phaedra in this office. Phaedra looks good. I wish Phaedra would just lean into this. And I'm not trying to say just because you're a certain age, you need to dress or look a certain way. It just doesn't feel natural to Phaedra, at least the Phaedra that we met originally. But when Phaedra's got this little black bob on and she's got her Chanel suit on with her pearls, I'm like, this is who I think is the real Phaedra because she always presents like she is she is educated, but you know what I'm saying? Like she always says like I have all these accolades and da 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 da. But then you always getting us like this nastiness and then the twerking and the stuff. I'm like, I want to see this Phaedra in the office with the bob and the pearls. Just saying how she makes some money.
Divorce.
I love you. Let's just hug and make up. Yeah.
Hold on, let me go back.
Your divorce.
I love you. Let's just hug and make up.
Also, it looks like Portia and Kelly make up during the season. Okay.
I love you.
Portia says, I love you to Kelly. I don't believe that at all.
Make up. Yeah.
Kelly said, let's just make up. Like, what was the real issue anyway? Shamina was the real issue.
I ain't a
afraid.
So they take their cash trip to Scotland. I've never been to Scotland, so shout out to those of you that watch us from Scotland. I would love to come to Scotland. I need to come, not warm weather, because I feel like I should go to Scotland when it's a bit chilly.
Oh, the Ghostbuster housewives. At some point, everyone has
So they're going to play a trader's game. So they're all in hooded robes.
lied. You said, hey, handsome, in February, bitch.
Okay, so they flash back to the event. This is an interesting edit that they're giving us. Back to K. Michelle's event, where she's wearing this white dress. It seems that there's something that happens between K. Michelle and Drew. Says, oh, in February, she says? In February, you were saying, hey, handsome. Remember we saw the text messages? So I'm guessing production probably got that original text message that we saw earlier in the season. They must have gotten that maybe from Drew or Black. Okay. We already said that the text messages that K. Michelle sent to Black were incriminating, even though she was trying to downplay it.
You said, hey, handsome, in February, bitch. Been deceitful.
Oh, but you're the Falcons player.
Moments.
Who is effing the Falcons player?
Oh, but you're the Falcons player.
Moments of betrayal.
In fact, your mom did something first to my mom.
So this is where there was already online chatter about a fight that happened between Shamia and Portia during this trip. I wasn't sure what we were going to get in this trailer, but Shamia says that it was Portia's mom, Miss Diane, because you remember a lot of people were speculating what was the real issue between the moms and why did they go from being best friends to no longer being friends at all. And they refused to talk about it during the reunion, but apparently it comes up. You know, on the Carlos King interview, Portia said that Shamia brought up something that was so below the belt that was terrible.
In fact, your mom did something first to my mom.
She said Miss Diane did something first to her mom, Mama Morton.
What? You and your mother are low down dirty snakes.
Ooh, she said, Portia says, you and your mama are low down dirty snakes.
Are low down dirty snakes.
Wait.
Dirty snakes. You and your mama are low down dirty snakes.
Oh, see, you. Okay, here's the thing. Shamia, that's your clapback? No, you and your mama are low down dirty. No, this is where you really go for the jugular. She's just not a great housewife, y'all. I need y'all just to accept it.
Dirty snakes. You and your mama are low down dirty snakes. This is my real life, you know what I'm saying?
So she's in the sprinter. I'm guessing this was after the fight, and she's being hugged up by Kelly's bosom. She's laying in it. This is my real life. Here's the thing. They probably could have salvaged their friendship if you decided, Shamia, that you didn't want it to be famous. And I'm not saying that she should have left the show just because of Portia. There are a lot of reasons why she should have left the show. She's just not good at it. It's affecting her marriage. Your husband doesn't want to film. You're pursuing something that's just not good for you. And now this show also ruined your friendship. Was it a real friendship? I don't know, y'all. It might have been a friendship out of obligation.
My real life, you know what I'm saying?
I know this friend group and everybody, so yes, we are bigger people.
You must be deluded.
You might not even know who this is singing, because if you've seen the trailer, then you already know. This is how the trailer ends with Pinky. I know some of y'all do not like Pinky, but you need a polarizing personality on reality television. You don't have to love everyone. I think she's good. I think she has a great storyline. She's got a lot of stuff going on. There are things closing down, and I hope to see the full circle moment where things are better for her. But she's great in her confessionals. She's got her own personal story, and she's really good with the group, even when she's not good with the group. You know what I mean? In this moment, at the end of the trailer, we got her singing, one of my favorite Drew Sidora songs, Delulu.
You must be delusional.
The Real Housewives.
Okay, all right. We see you, Pinky. We see you, Pinky. Pinky got a little tone to her. She sounds better than Ashley Darby. OMG. So that was the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 17 mid-season trailer, guys. How would you rate it from 1 to 10? I feel like the trailer delivered what it was supposed to. I'm not going to base off what the rest of the season is going to look like, but the trailer did what it was supposed to do. Get us interested in the rest of the season. And if they're dropping the mid-season trailer now, so that says to me we probably are getting 16 to 17 episodes this season, and then maybe like a 3-part reunion. Do you think they didn't need a 3-part reunion? Based on what's been happening, I think we're going to need at least 2 parts to handle the K. Michelle of it all.
Okay, podcast fam. I had to change the agenda for this special podcast episode because literally this would be a very long episode. After I added everything that you may have missed on our YouTube channel, I was like, okay, that's already an hour. And my conversation with Fem Tara was 2.5 hours. So that will be a separate podcast episode. So you have 2 episodes this weekend. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. And don't forget, there is a full moon in Sagittarius this weekend. Google schmoogle, whatever that means. I think we talk about it briefly in my episode with Fem Tara. But if you missed it, go check that out. Thank you for checking out this episode here on the channel. I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And join the mailing list, thekempire.com/join, or check the description. Shout out to our sponsors and everyone for being here. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.